Hi there, little light beams. Welcome to Dread Jive Tarot. This week, we're going to be finishing up the 9-card spiritual insight. If you like, comment, subscribe, you'll be notified next time I upload, which should be for you guys, relationship spreads. Those of you new to the channel, I like to go ahead and pick an overall energy, and then we'll move into past, present, future. I had it, it was right there. And then it just slipped right back down into the deck, like it didn't want to be seen. Ooh, that might give me the impression that you could be suffering from some sort of regret, fear, embarrassment, any of the other things. Cancer. Come on, babies, it's Cancer season. My son's a Cancer. He just turned 16. Lord have mercy. Let's see. Yeah. Well, babies, I don't think it's going to give it to me, but it does look like the Ten of Pentacles. So surrounding the current energies, the energies that I was picking up before the read, I'm seeing some sort of transformation inside the home life. Now, this could have been some sort of debate, some sort of issue going on that when stating your case or making yourself known, you were made to feel really, really small or browbeat by the person that you're dealing with, your significant other, or a situation that brought about a little glimmer of light or truth. Concept. Yes, concept. All right, past, present, future. This one doesn't want to play with me. And now it's playing like a freestyle spread. You are, or you are being led to attach this to some sort of holding your peace. Yes, you feel alienated. Yes, you feel alone. Yes, you feel like, like an outcast or a black sheep or embarrassed or ashamed. But in this situation, if I'm dealing with a Cancer male, right? That wellspring, that deep, that fitting and sitting and staying and soaking and understanding the emotions. Journaling usually helps at this time. With see, maybe a Gemini female. What else? Oh, do they want a divorce? Do they want to leave you? That's interesting. Okay, so as far as this freestyle spread goes, that it was supposed to be a 9-card. Oh, and you're not working on the problem, apparently. Okay, so what I have here is I have the split of the deck is the 8 of Pentacles in reverse and the King of Cups. Now on this side, I am seeing what came out was the 7 of Pentacles in reverse and the Queen of Swords in reverse. That being that apparently the accusation is you're not paying attention to them or you're not working on the situation at all. You're always gone. You're never here. You're always at work. You're always alienating yourself. You're always in the office. You never come out with me. You never pay attention to me. You never do these things for me or come around me. Now, male or female, like I said, or whatever you are, horse, dog, cat, cow, I care not. What I'm seeing is some sort of, it's just a random occurrence. It's nice not to sit in these energies too often. Yes, the person that you're dealing with does have some sort of a point that, like I said, it's going to bring about a transformation in you. So I'm eagerly expressing to sit and stay in these emotions and do not react to them. Do not act violently. Do not react. Do not tit for tat. Do not defend, but open yourself up to that. Yes, they're coming angry. Yes, they're coming without some sort of concert or, issue. They're coming from way out in left field, but there's a point to be made inside the situation just because they're presenting it like a load of malarkey does not mean that it isn't actually supposed to be addressed. And it's a possibility that it's being addressed in this way to get your attention because you had been ignoring it for so long. In every other aspect that they could have tried, that spirit or the universe could have been trying to deliver that information, that lesson, that hard knock, as it turns out that it is now, right? So let's go into your spread. I'm going to get up in a little second and grab me a cup of coffee, so do forgive the glitch. Let's see. Most recent past. What led up to this event? Okay, so maybe you had closed yourself off. Maybe it was fear of rejection. Maybe it was fear of not having enough. You know, the economy, the times are a little bit rough and tough right now. Maybe you were trying to just solidify your position. Now, your current situation is you're not wanting to act out or react, and that's exactly right. That's a very, very good, Cancer. So what I'm getting, but per se, that it seems like it's the same circles, the same circles, the same outlets, the same circles, the same outlets. But you had become so accustomed to this line of thinking and this line of doing things and how you get things done that maybe you might have been missing smaller pictures of what the actual enjoyment was in them. But shutting yourself off from them completely leaves you with no outlets whatsoever. Do you understand what I'm saying? I hope you do. The magician wants to say something. What does the magician want to say? It says that it's almost like a speak when spoken to kind of feel. Do address the situation, but probably not to your wife or your significant other or yeah, okay. So this act of joyfulness and then sweeping it under the rug or not being worried about it or not letting it drag you down. This is the most possible future outcomes. Stick with me, baby. I will help you through, and if I don't, I'll sit in your hovel with you. It's the nature of the beast. I see some sort of impatience with the person that you're dealing with, and that could be so. And as I explained in one of my other videos, and I think that it's a very important point, that if you are early on in the sign of Cancer, this has probably already happened or is happening now. If you are born later in the sign of Cancer, and this reading does not resonate, don't click off, because it might be coming. Okay, so their impatience, I guess, it still gives me the idea of a wasteful type of attitude. You're wasting your breath, you're wasting your time, but there is hope because you're not wasting your breath and you're not wasting your time. They are not wasting their breath and they're not wasting their time because something is clicking and something is hitting home. So despite what they're saying, take that with a grain of salt, understand what they're saying. In other words, how do I say it? Don't listen to what they're saying. I need you to hear what they're saying because their point is very important. And we're not wasting our breath here. How you would have handled it before, I think you would have withdrawn or pulled yourself further away, like further down the rabbit hole. You would have gone to work more often. You would have alienated yourself from the situation because you not really understanding what to do with those emotions. You might have put them on the other party, the party that was complaining, as that they earned it, so creating more of a wedge. Or you might have been a little bit more submissive or taken a some more submissive role and been like, oh, I don't want them to scream at me anymore. I can't do anything right. And then going further back. So, damn. There's something about this separation or separation of funds, or liquidating something. I'm going to get a clarifier on it because your Ten of Pentacles did come up in the reverse, which is strange and odd, which would be leading me to believe that some sort of separation does have to be made. Now, as I was saying earlier, we have created outlets around us, outlets that produce a fear of enjoyment if we need happiness. Now, the thing that we do probably isn't the most optimized version of what actually makes us happy. It is just the closest thing. If I had always wanted a pony, I always wanted a pony, I always wanted a pony, right? By meaning in my head, I wanted a horse. I wanted a horse. But instead, what I got was a donkey. But I still ride that donkey. Yes, I do. And with that being said, I am just as pleased as punch because that's what I have. Now, the more optimized version of what creates that happiness in me is something completely different. Yes, it stands on four legs. Yes, it does that. Yes, it does that. Yeah, all that. And it eats grass, and yes. But it is actually a different breed of animal. So start searching outside of your box. Say if you went to the bar to have a drink or two, try mixing the drinks at the house. You understand what I'm saying here. If you are always bringing your work home, create healthy boundaries and stop doing that. You understand? Now you're getting a little bit closer. So I'm understanding that because the overall energy is to sit in your emotions and learn something from it, that the complaining party is not to fault and should not create a sense of adversity, fear, anger, regret, or loss, or separation. I see the Ten of Pentacles, I see the Ten of Cups over here with the Five of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, and the Two of Wands in reverse. Okay, so the story that's coming out to me tells me of something that seemed very, very complete and whole and together, but throughout some sort of struggle. Now, this is a Five of Wands. This isn't just an all-out, toe-to-toe battle. This is more denotive of keeping up with the Joneses, or something that they noticed your significant other, something that your significant other noticed other people doing, and it clicked a light, an epiphany that they would have not seen any otherwise, but Spirit drew them to notice it now, which brought up a conversation which should be action-oriented. Now that leads you to, and then as I was stating, go back. Okay, so earlier in existence and in life, what you did was you sat here, you had this idea, well, I want to work, right? So you made a decision. You had this action, you had this plan of action, right? So you're sitting here, okay, do I go left or do I go right? Do I take the fork? Do I take the left at Albuquerque? Which road do I take to find this position or this job, right? This way to make money, this other thing like that. So what I did is at that crossroad, at that back point in the past, when I made that crossroad, I made that decision right there, globe in hand, understanding the two paths that diverge in front of me. The action now that is being asked of you is that you go back and reassess, is the path I chose what I really wanted, and should I be staying here, or was this supposed to be a passing through, like a gradual increase or an ascension? Do you understand? Like you want to get to a point where you're understanding that some roads, like I didn't become a manager of a convenience store because I never worked at the convenience store. No, I started filling the coolers and dumping the trash and things like that. And then I moved up to cashier, and then I moved up to assistant manager. But then eventually the manager goes to, well, who's the best person for the job? For some odd reason, I'm finding this certain similar aspect to the whole of the issue is that I think that you found a place and just sat complacent, and that we are, or the universe is at this time, helping you to expand your idea of what that really is and seek it. In your subconscious, I do feel like you have the ability, and you know you have the ability to get over it, whereas the situation does hurt and it does feel like wasted time and it feels like wasted energy and effort. It was not. So, but in your subconscious, it feels like you know that there is a way to get over it and get past it, to bring yourself away from the firing zone. Although, although consciously you seem to be matching them. See that? See that wonderful match right there? The King and the Queen of Swords. Now, be wary and be cautious, because underneath their Queen of Swords is the Ace of Swords and Judgment in reverse. Yes, there we go. There we go. You see them all? See all them little beauties right there? Okay, so what I'm getting from this is that if you do not understand their capacity to be right, as the Spirit speaks through all of us, their capacity to be right and own the truth in whichever way, shape, or form, just make sure that your negative attitude, or your attacking, or your blaming, or your walling off, or protecting yourself from their energy is only going to stop you from hitting your mark when it's time. It's asking you to relinquish or liquidate something, but I do not believe that it is the marriage. I believe it would be something more along the lines of whatever you do for a hobby or whatever you do for work. But if it is indeed the essence of a divorce from the person that you're dealing with, or a separation from them, their impatience leads you to believe that there is hope and muse and stardom, or the capacity. Now you're not willing to move. There's something that you don't want to do that you're being compelled to do. Do you understand? But in the upcoming future, now I'm not saying it's the end of this week, I'm not saying it's the end of this month, but somewhere in there, there is a point where you get over the fear and the anxiety of doing this thing that you didn't want to do, and understanding the benefit and joy in the new beginning, or the rebirth in self. I see the bottom of the deck is a Four of Pentacles. Now this leads me to believe again the idea that I do not believe it's a separation from your spouse, but just like a separation from one of the branches that you had created of your personality or your persona, something that you did for enjoyment. Okay, at this time I'm going to get up, I'm going to go grab some coffee, and then I'm going to sit right back down, and we're going to get into the person that you're dealing with. I should have just freeze framed, got the coffee, and like made a little sprinkle, like it just appeared magically. That would have been cool. Maybe next time. Okay, so the person that you're dealing with, I want to get a really good deck for them. One that's expressive of them. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So the person that Cancer is dealing with, like I said, they seem to be coming up as very impatient, very tremulous, very emotionally disturbed. And it kind of has you in a freeze frame mode, whereas you were walking on eggshells before. It's kind of like it's gotten as bad as it can be, and now you're just like a deer in the headlights and you don't want to do it, or you don't want to continue. There's something that you are trying to pry your hands off of, or it feels like the the parent trying to take away candy from a baby and you're holding on and screaming for dear life, but that scream is coming from right in here. This person has the ability to show you that there is hope in this situation. In their subconscious, they are, I don't think that they feel like they're necessarily speaking from, no, with the Queen of Cups here, the Five of Swords, the Hierophant in reverse, the Ten of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune. This feels very stuck, very angry, very animosity filled, and that's the only idea or issue to go with it, is that the separation is here, and the only way to make it right is to separate and call it quits and have it done and over. There's possibly that they're just seeing someone else, and I don't see that it's a physical person, but mainly more like an idea. It's an idea or an illusion or something that they aspire to be, that they are probably calling into existence. I see the King of Pentacles. It is a very shaky ground at this time, because when you are a human and you are manifesting something and you don't really know what you're manifesting, or that you're manifesting it, your brain and your emotions and your feelings will automatically start to clear a space for this thing as you sleep and dream and romanticize the thing. Now, picturing the thing will bring it into existence. Your emotions are kind of like a nesting syndrome, making a way, a place for this thing to come in. It's not that you intentionally did it. It's not like they have a guy on the side. You understand? They're just evolving past you. And if you do not step up to the plate, they will continue to evolve past you. But with this shaky ground syndrome is that most humans, when they're manifesting things, they don't know exactly what they're manifesting. So if they come in this anger, animosity, and an issue, instead of communicating clearly their wants, needs, and desires, the chances are of this deformed thing coming about that is more expressive of their faults and flaws than it is necessarily of their wishes, dreams, and desires, even though they embody both. I see the Ten of Wands, the Two of Cups, and, okay, so I see that it has become a burden for this person. Absolutely. It's become the burdens that are stacking up, although shared by both of y'all, are flipping the house or the household inside out or upside down. I feel like there is a bridge. There's still a bridge to be mended or made. Or there's still a very strong bridge, although it's probably a very steep climb and hard to see. Or hard to notice, but because y'all are bound, it should be relatively easy. I think that's why Spirit's asking you to really, really sit in your emotions. That there is probably built up residual dust in the recesses of the happy household, the marital household that y'all have created in y'all spirits and minds, and not necessarily in the physical realm, but those matters of the heart. I mean, the communication matters, the wishes, dreams, hopes, desires, what I want to be when I grow up. Shit, I can ask that question when I'm 78. What do I want to be when I grow up? What do I want to be? Can I have a third card for their subconscious? I see that there's an issue that they keep rehashing this. This is an idea that they keep going back to and keep going back to and keep going back to. Something that they had to sacrifice. There's something that they had to sacrifice for you in the relationship. So I think that they're using that as a trump card, that if you don't sacrifice this one thing to make them happy, when they sacrificed one thing to make you happy, then it's kind of playing on loop on them, that they're going to get it one way or the other. So as I said again, and I'm going to say it again and tell all your friends, because this person right here is not to blame for as angry as they are. They want to say, they always want to discuss, you know, how angry and how I reacted. They just didn't want to talk about what they did to make me feel that way. I see the Two of Pentacles, I see the Chariot, I see the Fool in reverse, and see the Page of Swords. All right. So what I'm getting as even in their subconscious, because I haven't moved on to their conscious yet, is even in their subconscious, their deepest desires, their furthest recesses of their mind while they sleep, you know, those inaccessible dreams that we can't remember when we wake up, your mind is constantly working. So theirs is too. So this is where they're going. They're going, let's see, and this is the card of Cancer, is the Chariot, and they think that you're irresponsible, and you're too focused on one thing. So because you're only focused on this one thing, whatever that one thing is, that I think that you're losing sight of all the other things. And I think that they might even feel alienated in and of themselves, that they're even having to alienate themselves from themselves so that they can support you and your fixation or overly obsessive mind on this one thing that you're doing or you're going through. All right, I see the Page of Cups. I do see how you would have handled it in the past is how they're understanding you too, or that's how they're handling it consciously. So consciously what they're going through is they have this feeling, they have this emotion. Now this seems to be a long-standing relationship, or even if it isn't. This is one of those situations where I've seen this before. I've seen it before. And what they're doing is they're going to react like that. Thing is that consciously they're expecting you to react this way. But what Spirit is asking you to do is react this way. I might get it. Okay, so if this is a work situation where you're focused too much on your work and not spending any time with them, that instead of withholding emotions and going further into work and working harder, just see what it's like to just, you know, fit on a tighter budget. There's more than one way to skin a cat, Cancer. Okay, I see the Nine of Swords, I see the Seven of Cups in reverse, and I see the Eight of Swords in reverse. Okay. So I see fear and anxiety manifesting an issue, but it clears up soon. Like I start to see clearly something that had eluded me before. Now what's going on is I will start to fall out of this zone of these fears and anxieties, because worst case scenario wasn't necessarily what I had made it out to be. This other situation is way worse or way better or yada, yada, yada. Or how long has it been since you've even been on the right side of the house? How long has it been since you've been in the North Wing? How long has it been since you've been in the South Wing? How long has it been since you've even been to the castle? Holy snaps. You know what I'm saying? Explore life a little bit. Life isn't about finding a partner and settling down and staying in that one specific spot the entire time. It is about flexibility, movement, support from one or the other. It is about the ebb and flow. It's about back and forth. It's about balance. It's about learning from each other and having the balls to stand up to each other when the other one's wrong. And then having a partner you can trust that when they do stand up and say something, that you can take that to the bank. How are they coming consciously? Oh, I see an idea of working with you or going to work with you or following you to work. There is an idea of y'all both working on each other, or that could be, like I said, because this is how you've handled it in the past so often, that instead of like transference of feelings, like after we've been around somebody so long we can finish each other's sentences, so they know you to react this way in those situations, so they're reacting that way. They're working with you. So what you're looking at now is kind of like a mirror image of your past, and I think that's why you're able to have just halted and stopped and tried to get over it, even though you view it negatively. But Spirit is asking you to understand your emotions. They're mirroring a past version of yourself, or they're mirroring a version of yourself. There's pieces of this. There's the lesson that needs to be learned. There is the part of you that you need to shed, and as you become something different and grow and evolve. And then there's learning the compassionate of the partner in and of itself. All right. Now, how are they showing face? How are they showing up? Like, what is the real deal? It's almost like they're falling on their own sort of heartbreak, like they're breaking their own heart. Now, this is the idea of retraction from a battle, reassessing and relearning or pulling out of the battlefield. So I don't want to talk about it anymore. And they go in their room and they slam the door, right? But what they're doing back there is they are hurting. They're in pain. They feel betrayed. They feel hurt. And they're almost falling on their own sword of truth. Kind of like, did I hurt things more than I helped things? They could be playing the victim. They could, but just know that what they're saying, even though it's presented poorly, that there's a chance that it is holding the integral truth of the matter, and that spirit has become very, very anxious and ready for you to explore this truth. So now, because you've ignored it on every layer of your waking life, they're bringing it closer to home. They're bringing it closer to home. They're hurting the people that you love until you get the picture and wake up. Wake up. There's more than one way to skin a cat. I see that there is an idea of pulling it all up as, like I said, kind of Spirit is advising you to liquidate something or let something go. And, from what I see, it's the bottom of the deck. It's the Seven of Pentacles. It's an idea that they're trying to pull something else up. So if you don't stop this one thing, you're fixing to lose this. If you don't slow your ass down on the interstate, the wheel's about to fall off. Kind of feeling. I mean, if you're getting what I'm spitting out there, Cancer. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to pull 3 cards for your summary. Let's pull 3 cards for a summary for Cancer. This is the Hermetic deck. I love this thing. This is one of the originals for me. All right. Can I have 3 cards for my Cancers, please? I see the Empress. I see divine, fruitful, generous. What did you whisper to me? The King of Pentacles. And that isn't necessarily having anything to do with Pentacles, but it will bring it about. Okay, now this is the impression that I'm getting, right? Okay, so we get the Empress, right? And this is fruitful. This is fruit bearing. This is generous. This is kind. This is engaging. This is compassion. This is birth and rebirth, or almost like Mother Earth kind of feel. But you see, the Knight of Pentacles here is in reverse, kind of like as a whisper to it. However, if you look at this specific card, you'll see that all the pentacles above her head are floating up there. Now, in every other rendition, they are stars. In this rendition, they are pentacles in stars, or stars with pentacles. Pentacles. They're pentacles. So what you're doing by stopping what you're doing, I get the impression that for some of you, if you quit this job and go with them over there, you're going to create much more wealth than before. That, yes, it does seem like a lick and a loss at this time. Well, this is what we do for money. This is what I do for fun. This is what I do for this. And if I don't have this thing, then we won't have that thing that we were doing it for. No, not all the time. Sometimes you have to clear out stagnant and old energies that no longer serve you for the other thing to come in at all. So anyway, that was just the impression that I got. Okay, I do see the Ace of Pentacles, and it did come out sideways, so we're going to leave it sideways because that is the decision that is up in the air for you. Sure is. And I see the Seven of Swords. Stop lying to yourself. Stop deceiving yourself. Stop the BS. Take wings. Knight of Wands in the upright. So this is a transmutation of your current energies. Your current energies is holding back, being scared, I'm not doing it, lack of action, kind of insecure, things like that. And you want to flip that upright. You want to go ahead and take action. But first you want to get rid of that negative attitude. Understand in your solar plexus that you know that you're good enough to get over it and work past it and work beyond it. And that if you attain this, then you can let it go as easy and attain it again, because that is not who you are. You are the thing that produced that. And that's the truth. So, Cancer, if you would like to know more, you can stop down at dreadjivetarot.com, get you a personal reading, or expose your person with / exposing your person. Now, while you're there, go ahead and enter to win the free reading that I give away each week. And if you'd like to, like, comment, subscribe, do hit the bell so you can be informed next week when I upload the relationship readings. Yes. Or if you'd like to check me out on Facebook, I'm there also. So until next time, Cancer, thanks for stopping by at Dread Jive.